Hi everyone. Do you have problems reversing? Do you get confused on which way to go and which way to steer? A lot of people do. Let's see whether we can help you. Here's the 5 top reasons why people get confused when reversing.
Number 5. Try not to look forward.
Okay, so we shouldn't look forward when we're doing any reversing, and it can confuse massively. Let's just have a look at this situation. If I look forward at this bay in front of us, it seems as though I've got to steer to this side to get pointed at it. This bay might not be level with the one that we're going to though. So if I do look at this and then start reversing, you can see I'm going the wrong way. So what do? Quite simply, don't look forward. That will just confuse you. Look to the direction you want to go and steer in the direction you want to go. I want to head over that side, so I'll steer that way. And when I'm done, I straighten up. Simple.
Number 4. Try not to look at the wheel.
This is the next thing. How does looking at your steering wheel help? Does anyone know which way we need to steer yet? You can't tell looking at your steering wheel. You've got to look outside of your car. I even see instructors at some time putting marker points on their steering wheel. And they put marker points on to supposedly trying to help their pupil know where straight is, but all that's going to do is encourage them to look at the wheel. Now, it's much simpler than that. Whenever you're going forward or backwards, the only way to tell what to do with the steering wheel is to actually look out of the car. This doesn't tell us. It's quite simply, the car's going backwards and the back end's heading this way. So when I need to straighten up, all I need to do is literally turn the other way. Now, I might hear some people say, well, I need to look at my wheel to see where straight is. No, you don't. All you do is when you're actually straightening, start steering your wheel until, if you're looking in the mirror, the movement of the car stops moving one way or the other. That can be done in the mirror, but mostly it should be done out of the back window. And that's when you know where straight is. This steering wheel will then end up in this position and you're straight. Another added point. This steering wheel will be like this and look like this when it's straight, but it's not the only time that it will look like this. I shouldn't dry steer, all it does is damages your tyres, but I'm going to steer once round to the left. There you go. And watch, if I move forward a little bit, the car isn't straight, it's moving. So you cannot tell by looking at this thing where straight is.
Number 3. Try and keep moving the car.
The next point is to not sit still. You cannot tell what's going on if you're not moving. It's dead simple. This situation, we look as though we're pretty good with the curb, but there might be some turn on. There might be some movement of the steering wheel. And quite simply, if you're trying to make a decision while you're stopped, you can't do it. Again, move the car and see which way it's going. As you can see, it's moving away from the curb. It's simple. Move back towards it. And again, when it's not moving one way or the other, you know you're straight. It's simple.
Number 2. Try not to think right or left.
This is a very simple point that people often overlook, but it is something that confuses people massively when they're reversing. And it's simply try not to think left or right. I'll try and explain. If I was to look forward at this curb that's out in front of me, it's to my left hand side. But then if I turn round and look out the back, it's towards my right. It might be the pupils who are thinking I've got to steer left or I've got to steer right. It might then be the instructor who says you need to look out the back window a little bit more. Well, if you're thinking I've got to steer left and then the instructor says you've got to look out the back window a little bit more, when you switch round, you'll steer the wrong way. It's a simple little point, but it's an important one. Try not to think left or right. Try and think, I want to go that way, so I'll steer that way. And that doesn't matter whether you're looking forward or looking backwards. Try and just steer in the direction that you want to go.
Number 1. Try not looking at the floor.
This for me is the most important point, and it's why I've placed it here at number 1. What most people do is that they stare at the floor, whether it be a line or a curb, and from here it's impossible to tell what to do. Just for example, how can you even tell when to straighten up? Should we do it now with this line looking vertical? How do you think this is going to go with you only seeing this area now? Do you think it's going to be easier or harder? Let's have a look. It's actually much easier because you can see where the back of the car is moving in relation to the line. This situation, the back's gone a little far, so we need to actually move and steer the other direction. That's better. Don't forget to compare with the other side. Now have a look when you get all of your view. So, it's not angles that we're looking at, it's space, and try and use the back of the car for reference. How many of those things do you do when you reverse? I know my pupils do those things all the time. And also the instructors who I teach, I have to train them out of teaching those things a lot of the time. I hope it all made sense. I hope it improves your reversing. And as always, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you soon.